Okay, we're gonna work on the chaos quilt. So we have 9 blocks done. And so out of these 9 blocks, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put them into a quilt. This is my biggest block. Okay, so it is a 20.5 by 20.5. So this is going to be, we could probably put this in the center if we wanted to. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make every block match this size block. So we're gonna put sashing on each block to equal 20 by 20. So this one here will not have any sashing on it. And I'm gonna try to put this in the middle of the quilt. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw for the, I'm just gonna pick a block. I know the size of them all. And then I'm gonna tell you what size of sashing I need. And then we're going to draw the color, and we're going to draw 4 colors because there's 4 sides to each block. So this is my first block, and it's 16.5 by 16.5, so I need to make it 20.5 by 20.5. So I'm going to put 2 inches on all 4 corners. So we're going to draw the color that we're going, the color fabric, like we do for when we're putting it together. So we got 1. I'm going to read the color. So our first color is light gray. Our second color is light blue. I'm trying to only grab 1. Our next color is black. And our next color will be, oh, I got 2. Got it. Some of them stick together. Light green. Now I'm only going to pick 1 color of hand quilting thread. Sorry, my camera is like moving here. I'm only going to pick 1 color of hand quilting thread just because it'll get confusing. So we're only going to do 1 of that. And so the color that we pick is purple. I'm going to move my camera, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull some fabric. So the first color that we pulled was light gray. So my background is light gray. I tried to use, I try to pull what it comes to me first, like the first thing I pick up, but I also try to make sure I have enough of it. So we're going to need 1 strip of 2.5 because we're only going to do 1 side of this color. And so we just want a 2-inch strip. Camera's kind of in the way, so it's kind of make sure it gets even. Okay, and then we will make sure that, I'll have to get a different ruler, but we want to make sure our strip is a 16.5 long. And so what I'm going to do, instead of just measuring this 16.5, I'm just going to go ahead and lay mine on here, and then whatever I have left, because it's just a little bit, I'll just take off, and then I'm just going to do that because that's what I normally do anyway. Okay, so then we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to go ahead and sew our line. And this is just how some people will measure their length of their strips. And I was going to do that. And then I thought, you know, I don't normally do that. I want to be myself. So this is how I do it. And so everybody does things differently, and that's okay. We're just going to go down. I'm probably not going to sew all this on my video because it just makes a longer video, but we're just going to keep going down. So our 1/4 inch all the way down until we get all the way to the end. Okay, so then when we get down here to the end, see how I left that little strip? We're almost to the end, and we're just going to tie it off however you tie off. I do typically do a back stitch. And then sometimes I will run my needle through the little knot to hold it. You just do that, and then what we'll do is we'll just cut this section off with our ruler. And so then we'll just lay our ruler on there so that way we make sure that there's no threads, like your knot or anything in between this. This here's just a piece of fray, but you want to make sure that you don't get any of that, because if you cut over any of your threads, your quilt will come out. So that's one thing you cannot do when you're hand piecing. And so then we have our first side done. And now we're going to we'll do the other side, and then we'll do the top and the bottom. And so it can be either or, however you want, whatever's top, whatever's bottom, because this block is pretty much the same all the way around. Or it is the same all the way around. So our next color was light blue. So we're going to pick light blue. So all we need is, this is the color I picked. It's got the light blue background, and that's kind of what I go by, is when I color coordinate my fabric. So I kind of go by what is the background of the color. So I consider this light blue, even though it does have some yellow and greens in it. So we're just going to cut our 2-inch strip. And I am taking, remember, this is off my stash. This is off my wall, my stash. And it is, a lot of this is scrap fabric. It's just fabric that I've made from other quilts. It's fabric that my quilting ladies from my quilt group have given me. So I sometimes only have little pieces. Bear with me just a minute. So I'm kind of just going by that. I got to have enough of it to be able to use it. But that's what we're going to use for this next side. And just like before, I'm going to pin this on here. This is just how I do things. Everybody does things different. So I'm going to go ahead and get this pinned and get it sewed on, and then we'll pull the next color because the video is getting longer. Once again, I'll cut this off after I've got this sewed on. Now that we got that side done, now we're going to do the other side, and our color next was black. Okay, we're going to cut our 2-inch strip. Clean up our other side. And then just like last time, we're going to sew it on the next. Now with this one, it was really close. It came right at, I did not have to cut anything off the side. So do watch that, because sometimes you don't want to have your piece too short. And if you do have your piece too short, you can add a little strip to make it longer. I've done that before. We have that sewed on. And then now we're going to do the other side. So our next color is light green. This is the color that I picked. I picked the first that I came to, and we're going to take our 2-inch strip again. I'm going to clean this up. I had to cut this a different way because there's some fabric missing, like where this has been used once before, and so I went and got it perfect. I probably would have had to sew on, so I cut it a different direction. Our 2-inch strip, and then we're going to sew it onto our block. Again, we're going to take off this little end, making sure that we have no knot in there. And then we have this block complete. So let me use my seam presser real quick, and then we will show you the entire block. And we're ready to sew this on to the big block that's going to go in the middle. And so anyway, so this is what it looks like with the sashing on it. Okay, guys, I just realized that I didn't allow my 2.5 seam allowance. So I'm going to go back and re-put all this back on. Take this out, and I'm going to do 2.5 strips instead of 2-inch strips. Sorry about that. I'll show you the end when I get done. Okay, now I have my block 20.5 by 20.5, and now we will connect it to this block. So we're going to sew these together, right sides together, 1/4 inch. And this is what we end up with for our first 2 blocks for the second row. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. Stay tuned for the next block in the next video.